Hey guys, and welcome to episode 7 of the Hollerachia Podcast. And that is truly astonishing to me that we've actually hit 7 episodes here, but we're coming up on 10, and we've had some great guests so far, and we have a great one here today. So thank you for tuning in and sitting with us here. Also, want to give a shout out to the Ethan and the WSKV studio here in Irvin. Open up the space, and really allow for these conversations to happen, and just definitely want to show my appreciation and for allowing us to use this studio. And as I mentioned in the last episode as well, definitely want to ask everybody that's watching this to, if you can, contribute to these flood relief programs that are going on to help Eastern Kentucky rebuild, after already being devastated by the 2022 floods and then this round that came through in 2025. It is certainly a tough time for a lot of parts and a lot of folks here in Eastern Kentucky. So if you can give, please do. You can find ways to support these flood relief projects through the Appalachian Pioneer Program. Austin Shuck, he's been sharing a lot of stuff and doing a lot of great things. The Foundation for Appalachian Kentucky, has some resources there to direct you to the right place. And even go to the WSKV Facebook page where they've shared links to some places that you can actually put money into that will go to the appropriate parties that will make sure that this gets into the areas that need it the most. So after that being aside, let's go ahead and introduce our guest here. As I said, he's a great artist. He's a great songwriter, and he's actually a great influence on me and kind of how I ended up in this space to begin with, this multimedia outfit that we're in. After watching one of his shows a few years back, it kind of really inspired me. It sparked something in me to start investigating the songwriters and this style and the whole creative process that goes into writing these songs. And I can honestly say he really is one of the big reasons I'm sitting here. So it is an honor to have him here with me. And besides being a great songwriter and singer and artist, I hear that you're the national beatbox champion. Why don't you drop us a couple bars?
Yeah, 3 times. 3 times.
I was just playing with you. Reed Fields.
Thank you for having me out.
Yeah, thank you for being here, man. Appreciate you coming out. And as I said, it is an absolute honor to have you sitting here, and actually kind of surreal to me right now because, somebody that has had such an impact on me to be sitting here and just, taking the time out of their day to come in and chat with me is certainly a privilege. So I appreciate you coming out.
We definitely need people like you guys and what you're doing, because it not only for the artists, but for the flood relief and everything you do there as well. So I highly appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Blessed to be here.
Yeah, I'm really, really happy to have you, man. But yeah, so why don't you just kind of go ahead and introduce yourself a little bit? Like I said, Reed Fields, amazing songwriter, amazing musician. So how long you been playing and writing music?
I think I first started playing an instrument, a guitar as far as that goes, at like 22, 23 years old. So it's been several years, probably. Well, I'm 57, so it gives you an idea, several years. Not really seriously about songwriting for probably 6-7 years. Okay. So that's what I've been writing about that much.
That's fairly new then. But
new, yeah.
You've been pretty well exposed to some other songwriters, and kind of, I guess, would you say you've been pretty influenced, I guess, like Chris Knight, by his process and his creative.
I just love Chris's music from the first time I heard him. I had actually my defensive coordinator was named Hoy Miller Jr., Muff Miller. He was our defense coordinator. After I graduated high school, he listened to a lot of Americana music, and we listened to Americana Crossroads out of Morehead State. And on Sundays, and he said, I got a recording of this fella I need you to hear. He'd recorded it on cassette, and it was Chris singing on a mountain stage, and he was singing Send a Boat.
Wow,
so I was like, this is awesome.
That's cool, man. Yeah. And I tell you, man, well, see, like I said, seeing you and Sarah play that night, kind of inspired me to kind of engage in this part of it, but really getting me completely into this genre altogether, I'll probably give Chris a lot of credit for. I think it was like my cousin one day years ago had come up to me and shown me the song, The River Zone.
Oh yeah.
And immediately I fell in love because I connected with it so I guess viscerally. The way he wrote that song and the way the story he told in that song was like frame by frame, like the story of my family and my family history growing up on the Red River, and them finding the dam, them fighting progress, and then kind of keeping their family home. And it was such a moving song. And then like after that is really kind of, I really doubled down on the Americana Mountain Appalachian music. And,
He's Kentucky through and through.
Oh,
I mean, his writing and his just everything he does, and he's real.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, everything about him's real, and that's what I like about him. So he's a great guy.
Certainly is. So how long have you been playing with Chris?
I don't know exactly the year, but it was in the 90s. First time probably I played with Chris. I invited him over because I talked to him at some shows, and he knew I played some music, and I was playing over in Mount Sterling, and actually Chris came in. He came into Bath County, came into Lawrenceville, and at that time, I sold all the tickets 2 nights, sold out at a place called the Sterling Saloon over there.
Wow.
Which was right down off of Main Street.
Okay.
There, if you know where there used to be a restaurant on the corner there.
I've been through Owensville, but
well, this was in Mount Sterling where the show was
at.
Mount
Sterling, yes. Okay, I'm sorry.
Right on Main Street. I'm not sure what that street, maybe it's Maysville. It goes right on across Main Street on the right, down toward where Court Days. And there's a small venue there. And I said, we can sell this thing out twice for you if it's worth your time to come up. And, sold merch for him, opened for him.
Yeah.
And he sold two shows out, $25 a ticket, Wow, and it was a small place, but it was packed. And so he sold all kinds of merch. So we went grouse hunting. We had some grouse back then. He's a bird hunter, so we hunt together up north sometimes, up in Wisconsin now, Michigan. And
that's cool.
It was a good weekend for him, and we had a good time. So I got to know him that way.
Really, just kind of established rapport after that and kind of maintain. So I guess at what point did he invite you on to kind of start, playing with him?
Well, I think the show that I actually had approached him about trying to do something with him on the road was we were playing a full band show opening for him at the Moorhead Conference Center.
Okay.
It was a fundraiser.
Yeah.
And his band played, of course he brought his band in, and I just talked to him after the show. I said, man, you play Texas a lot, and I love Texas music scene. I'd love to. And he said, well, if I get something, I'll let you know. And then a year later, he had a opening there, and I went on a 12-show run with him.
Yeah, I was gonna say I know about your Texas run. I actually have one of your posters, one of the posters from that tour, which is gotta be awesome, man.
It was awesome. Yeah,
I've only drove through I've drove through the windmill country of Texas. I ain't gone any farther south than just that top Route 66 area. I'd love to kind of go back south, all the way down to Galveston and just kind of experience everything in between.
It was neat. Got to meet Ray Wiley Hubbard. They played
Ray Wiley, no kidding, man.
A dual headliner show at Fredericksburg Amphitheater, and he was in the green room back there, and we got to talk to Ray Wiley, and he had his son out on stage, and he left and had another guy that was a friend of his just came on and decided to play with him that night at a ranch that he met or went to see him.
Ray Wiley, man, he's a character for sure. I mean, I've never had an opportunity to see him live. I'd love to. But yeah, it's like I think his song, like Crimson Kings, is probably another one that kind of got me, digging a little bit deeper and kind of going further into that space. But yeah, man, he's a character. So you did the Texas run, and I guess here recently though, you've really been aggressively touring on your own, like I guess independently, or have you been touring with anybody else? Okay, yeah,
independent.
And where all have you been playing here recently?
We play a lot of places in Ohio. We play Kentucky, different areas of Kentucky. Lexington. We've had I think 3 or 4 venues. We play in Lexington. Play up at Campton quite regularly, up at 145, which is a great venue.
Great place.
We host a lot of songwriter showcases.
Yeah.
We host 4 of those every month, and then every other month it's 5. So we do one every month at Waterfront Grill Gathering at Winchester.
Okay.
Then we do one every month at Maiden City Brewing Paris.
Cool.
And then one at Maiden City Brewing Cynthiana. We do the one at Campton. Now, is it the first Tuesday? I think it is. Yeah, that's right. First Tuesday of every month. We did that last night.
Yeah.
And then we do another one every other month up at Riverbend Pub and Grill for Tim Poe and Susie Poe up in Vanceburg.
That's awesome, man. I need to make it a point to start coming out to 1145, and then checking those out.
There's some good lineups, and it's a great chance for writers to get out and,
Yeah, I've really been kind of prioritizing just in my professionally, kind of in this space. Just kind of explore some of these venues out here, man, because there's really great places to play music in this area, all around the area. I know I saw you live at Toad's, which is, last year was their first year in operation, Toad's Barn and Grill.
Yeah, that's a great place to play.
Just that style and that setup and just like that venue itself. But then I know Powell County also hosts the Pit House, with the Thatchers, and that's a great space. And then you go over to Wolf County and you got Ethan Wayne and the Kilns and stuff. So
I've been there. I've been around Ethan before.
Oh, you need to check it out, man. what he's building over there is amazing. And then this is something that's kind of off the books right now. I can't talk about it too much, but it's still way in the preliminary phases. But there's a potential venue that's going to pop up at the top of Furnace Mountain, and the way it's shaping out, and then the way that this guy's designing and building it, looks like it might be the Appalachian Red Rocks. So he's awesome. And I think, like I said, I don't want to disclose anything that I'm not supposed to be talking about, but he did tell me the person that's making this, developing the space, brought some engineers in from Red Rock, Colorado. That's great. Come down here and guys look at that space. So yeah, we got something cool brewing, on the mountain.
We play a lot of, I played over at Holler next door.
Oh yeah.
Great room. And, played across the street.
Steam Engine over there?
No, the restaurant.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I haven't played Steam Engine. I haven't been to a show over there. I need to go watch a show when they have a good one.
Wes has got a pretty cool setup over there. I actually haven't got caught one either. I've had their pizza. The pizza's great. Shout out Steam Engine.
Haven't played Thatcher's. I actually played Thatcher's when they were in Jackson.
Yeah.
In Breathitt County, the original one up there. Yeah, that's been a few years ago. Then we play. We have I think 3 shows now, or maybe more, booked at Toads for this coming year already.
Oh, you've already got them booked. Awesome.
Booked, and we've already got 170 shows on the books this year.
I'm telling you, man, the Towns has been sitting on the info. They won't tell me who's coming. Actually, I'm not going to say. I'm going to say, but I know who's going to be playing one of the shows this year, and it's pretty amazing they were able to sign him. So
awesome.
They're getting some pretty good traffic going through that venue, man.
I'm tickled to get to play over there. It's a cool venue, and we're playing at Cliffview. We got some shows up there.
That's cool, man. But yeah, you have been touring aggressively, and I guess like we were talking about before, it just kind of, I guess when you retired, from your day job and kind of opened your schedule up a little bit. So I guess that's kind of what's led you to kind of lean into the music a lot. So what's that process been like? I guess from moving from just your day to day grind to being able to focus on this all the time.
It's let me focus more on writing for sure. Give me more time to think about writing songs and going back and touching up some ideas that I had, and so I have enough to do another album already. Now we're gonna have to sort through stuff. This one's not even out yet, but I've just been writing.
Yeah, that's great. That's awesome.
Doing some co-writing. I've been writing with a fellow in Tennessee with the name of Jay Edwards, who's phenomenal. We just started writing. We didn't finish anything, but we're going back this Sunday to try to finalize some stuff. And if you haven't checked out Jay Edwards, you need to. He's a real deal.
Thank you.
Trying to think how it changed. Yeah, just having the time to do it. You can look forward and not have to worry about what's coming up, because especially the years I was a head coach. When I was a head coach for 10 years in football, that just took music out of the equation, because football as a head coach is year round now pretty much.
Yeah.
You got a dead period for 2 weeks, but
any kind of youth or high school athletics, man, it's aggressive.
I love it, but it's just like my music was done at that time period.
Yeah,
I might sit around and pick some on the weekend. And you really didn't, when you're doing a week of that, you didn't really feel like playing a whole lot of shows on the weekends.
No, I get it, man. Like I said, you're stretched super thin. I can relate, man. Having 4 kids and 3 jobs, it does kind of wear down on you after a while. But I'm kind of glad. I am glad that you are able to kind of double down on this, really focus on this now, and kind of, because I'm excited to hear what you got, coming out already, and I'm excited to see what's coming down the pipe for you. So I think we're about 13 minutes in. So how about we play a song here, and like I said, we do a dealer's choice. I'll let y'all decide what you want to play, the artists that visit. But I always kind of make one request, and the song that I do want to hear, it's one of my favorites of your new tracks, is the "Must Be the Devil."
I'll definitely do it.
Yes, if you can pick,
I'll definitely do it. I may not do it first, but I'll do it. So I'm going to play 4 songs that are off the upcoming album, and
yeah, that's great.
We've released "Must Be the Devil." We haven't released this one. It's the next one we release. It's called "Too Good at Being Bad."
Yeah,
and
cool.
Just relationship stuff,
Yeah.
having a bad relationship, and I think that's stuff everyone can relate to. And I get a lot of my ideas from listening to conversations and just what I'm going through or someone I know is going through. Those are great things to write about because they're so relatable.
Yeah, I want to circle back to that. But yeah, let's hear. Man, it's a cool song. I love it.
I'm thinking about you, baby. I keep wondering where you've been. The good loving that we've been making, can we ever make it again? Left me without a warning, stone cold in the dead of the night. There's no way I could have seen it coming. Girl, you never even turned on your light. You're too good at being bad. Living on this edge with you, honey, all that drives me mad. There's no escaping, you're the best I've ever had. You're too good at being bad. And I'm sitting here going crazy. I keep thinking about way back when left him to be with me, honey. I should have known you were bound to leave again. You must have had a good teacher, baby. Things you do don't come naturally. Someday you're gonna need some practice, and you know exactly where I'll be. You're too good at being bad. Living on this edge with you, girl, all but drives me mad. There's no escaping, you're the best I've ever had. You're too good at being bad. You're too good at being bad, bad, bad. Living on the edge with you, girl, all but drives me mad. There's no escaping, it's the best I've ever had. You're too good at being bad. You're too good at being bad. Honey, you're too good at being bad.
Love it, man. It's such a bluesy track too, man. It's so cool.
It's got a bluesy feel for sure.
Oh yeah, man, and you can definitely feel that that energy coming off of it. I love that lick. So how long did it take you to write that one? Because just putting that up, there's a lot to that song. A lot of movement.
Believe it or not, I wrote that song in one afternoon.
No kidding.
Yeah, I really did. I just had a lot on my mind, and just it was one of those things. I came up with that little kickoff lick, and it just kind of.
Usually all it takes one little riff, man, then just kind of builds up.
It just comes out of your brain, man.
That's cool.
It's hard to explain. They just pull them out of air. Some people say that they just come out of air, but you got to have some structure to them.
Yeah, it's like me. Like I'm not a songwriter performer by any means at all. Like I've been playing for 20 years, but like I have like just a whole catalog full of just riffs that I just want to do something with, and just. But yeah, it's so cool to me to see somebody that can do that. Just take a little chunk of something and just kind of immediately just mold it into something amazing. But sometimes
it works that way, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know. It's just hard to explain.
I guess that is kind of like a real bluesy song. I guess. So let's kind of go into your influences in. So I guess. Who do you look at as far as, when you write your music and when you kind of develop your sound, who do you think has the biggest impact on you over the years?
And I've listened to so much music. I had music in my family on my dad's side. Had a great fiddler. I never got to I don't remember him. I was named after him. His middle name was Carlton Reed Rawlings. So, but vaguely remember, but I do have some stuff that was taken off of reel to reel. He played. He was on that special they did at Morehead State on Old Time Kentucky Fiddlers. He was one of the guys on there. So, and then I had my grandmother play. She tried to get me to start playing. I've got pictures of me with a guitar at 5 years old, but I didn't want anything to do with it. And Dad listened to, and Mom as well, listened to all different types of genres of music. Anything from CCR to Leonard Skinner to the Commodores to Waylon and Willie, just all across the gamut. I think that exposed me to a lot of music. I remember just sitting with 45s dropping like in the summertime, just listening to songs, trying to sing with them.
That's cool, man. That's such a great That's a very common explanation you get for, from artists and great songwriters and stuff like that. When you kind of have that broad influence, you got your fingers in all these different genres, from gospel to rock and roll and everything in between. It just lends to such a unique sound, and you could always see it come out in such a creative and honest way. And I definitely feel that in your music. It really is just authentic, honest, and that energy it really puts out, man. It's great.
I think maybe part of that's I write about a lot of true stuff that's happened to me or somebody else. But then a lot of my influences are like people that I really respect as songwriters. Guy Clark.
Yeah.
I was actually fortunate enough to go in Guy's house about 6 months after he passed away.
No kidding.
And then just unbelievable. That was an unbelievable experience. And, to see all the things that he's accomplished and the guitars he built and where he built them. And so he was huge. All that Texas scene. Steve Earle probably was the person that got me wanting to play and sing.
Steve Earle's
songs.
It's a good name drop, man.
When he came out with Guitar Town, it was like, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen on CMT.
I've rocked Guitar Town quite a few times, but I'm telling you, man, Copperhead Road is like the anthem of the entire South, not just Appalachia. I mean, that's just kind of our national anthem. It's Copperhead Road.
But all those Texas, Robert O'Keen, I love his stuff. Charlie Robinson, we lost him as well, and we were going to get to meet Charlie. We had Chris that invited us down. We already had a room to stay. That we were getting ready to do a show at Austin City Limits Live. Really? They were going to record a live show there, and he got sick, and they canceled it. And the next week, he got sick again. The next week, he passed. So it's
unfortunate, man.
Tough
is.
Stuff. Lose a lot of good ones.
We are, and they. That's just kind of the flow of time in life, man. But it's unfortunate. There are legends. I mean, we've lost some great people. I have a Martin guitar, and to tell my personal story, when I got the guitar, it really came off the heels of my papa giving me a Martin that he had bought in the 70s. It turns out, I didn't know for years exactly how significant this guitar was, but for one, just the fact that it's a 1948 Dreadnought.
Oh yeah,
yeah, it's an amazing guitar, an amazing sounding guitar. But it actually had a pretty cool story, and it was on stage with J.D. Crowe for I can't tell you how many shows.
That's awesome.
Turns out to be, it wasn't one of JD's guitars to my knowledge, but it was like one of his guys, man. But it's been on stage with him. But talk about legends and people influences. JD's definitely in that category.
Goodness, yeah, he's a legend for sure.
Yeah, man. That's cool. So you say like when you write your songs, you kind of write about life, write about stories, write about experiences, and I love that because when you write about stuff that's real and stuff that's actually happened to you, or at least you've observed in real time, it really comes out in the music as far as, that honesty I was talking about.
Yeah, it's easy to put real feeling in it,
Right. So what songs, I guess, off this new album kind of have you write like that, like as personal experiences or something that impacted you in a big way?
Well, that first one was one.
Yeah.
I'd experienced a relationship in the past that kind of brought that about. So, same thing with Must Be the Devil.
Yeah.
I mean, really, it is. I mean, and I'm not calling names, just things I've seen, experienced or saw someone experience. And I think just across the board, and not just singling out Eastern Kentucky, but the song we just released, Crooked Town, I mean, I see it constantly. I see what I call, I guess, political corruption is the best way to put it.
Yeah.
Or it's almost like some small towns have political machines.
Yeah, mechanisms that go deep and generations wide.
And there's a few families that control things, and you see that through people, and you see the effects on people and the community itself, and that's kind of what the song "Crooked Town's" about. So it's a pretty deep song.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Like being in media, writing for the small town newspaper. People be surprised what goes on in the small town and the underbelly and that dark side that nobody sees. But since I've been in this capacity writing, it's crazy what I've learned. But yeah, you're right. Crooked Town is certainly a accurate probably description.
Every time, it doesn't matter where we play that song, somebody can relate to that song.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they felt that in some form or other in their life. They're
just injustice.
Big city even because they're seeing it too.
Oh yeah, yep. But yeah, why don't you pick that for us, man? I'd love to kind of show that one.
You want to do that one?
Yeah. If you want to, like I said, dealer's choice, but yeah, that's since we're talking about it, I figure it'd be good to pick it up.
still around. Can't believe you spent your life in this crooked town. You always dreamed of doing big things, and you might have had a chance with a better last name. Such a shame. Money talks, so I guess that's why you and I never had much say at all. It ain't hard to lay the blame when the few with it all can always buy their way. Always been the same. And you got by, worked to earn everything you've had in this life. Somehow you can't explain why the ones with the most never had strength. Always had it made. It didn't work out like you planned, but you never let it get you down. You stayed here till the end. It's over now. Tomorrow they'll be laying you in the ground. Well, I'm gonna feel the pain, but I know you're better off anyway. So what made you stay? 'Cause I'm still around. Can't believe I spent my life in this crooked town. Can't believe I spent my life in this crooked town.
Love that song too, man. And there's so much I love about that song. I mean, for one, you do capture that concept of, the crooked town, the small towns, like we said before the song. And there's so much of that. I've, being in journalism and running for the paper, it seems like I cover all the business and boards and government, committees and all that. And it seems like the smaller the board, the more corrupt it gets, the more Game of Thrones it gets. So, it's
a lot of stuff growing up.
You do, absolutely. But then, the song also kind of breaches into the idea of resilience, and sticking through it and just enduring through like injustice and setbacks and stuff. But it's a very emotional song. I really enjoy that.
We stay because we love the places.
Absolutely,
that's why people stay.
Everywhere, every small town is faulted in some way, but at the same time, it's you still take pride in it. It's still your home,
yeah.
And do your best to just try and improve it and change it and, grow it and send it in the right direction. But, yeah, it's a great song, man. I really do enjoy that one.
Appreciate that. Thanks.
And you said, you're from Bath County, right?
I am.
All right. Just make sure Owensville. So what's Owensville like? I grew up in Stanton. I don't really have much experience with a small town besides, Stanton, Kentucky.
We're very small community. Of course, Owensville is the county seat. Yeah. We have two other, they're not considered cities, but we have Salt Lick, which is out toward Cave Run Lake, and we have Bethel, or Sharpsburg area. I kind of include those together on the other part of the county, close to Fleming County, Nicholas County, Montgomery County, that area, that part of the county, and then actually even the county borders also Menifee, and it even borders Round. And it borders Bourbon as well. So yeah. So it's we have Cave Run Lake. That's been
to Cave Run a couple times. That's usually been my experience in Bath County.
We have a lot of good areas. Probably more so in the bluegrass part of Bath County, probably the most fertile soil. But a lot of huge tobacco farming for years, and then now that's gone. So that changed a lot of culture.
That buyout, it did some good, some people, benefited from it. It broke my heart to see it go,
Yeah, I grew up raising tobacco and helping my dad and my grandfathers, both of them raised it. But it was just like, the buyout, you felt like maybe they're doing that to try to get people to stop using, but then we're we still have as much then. So
Yeah.
what did we accomplish by?
Yeah, no, there were certainly reasons and certainly alternative frames of thought that probably went into it that weren't really.
I'm sure, and then things change with who's in leadership at the time. So
it does, but yeah, my family's like that too, man. Tobacco and moonshining, that's kind of my family history. Leading up for going back to my great grandparents settling down.
I don't know of any moonshiners in Bath County now, but I'm not saying there aren't there.
No, but yeah, my brother-in-law actually has family out in Bath County, Owensville and stuff. But yeah, usually
we were dry until I guess 4 or 5 years ago.
Same with Powell County. Yeah, we were.
It was about the same time. Powell
Yeah,
County
it probably was the same election cycle.
So I walk into the dollar store and I'm looking around thinking, I still can't adjust to it.
But yeah, we have seen benefits from. We've seen the financial benefits from it. The tax revenue and stuff, and like tourism. And Powell County is pretty interesting. And just to kind of plug my own on time for a second, Stanton is the seat, but then you got, like you said, you got Clay City, Bowen, Nada, and Slade is kind of the other ones. But it's such a interesting cross section because it's just like every part of the county is like different and unique in some way.
Geologically.
Yeah, geologically.
Sure.
And then the people, the thought processes, the culture. I mean, from Clay City to Slade, it's like night and day, man.
Kentucky is a state. If you go from, I guess, Lewis County all the way down to, Pike County all the way down to the tip to.
My friend and producer over here, Josh, he's from Cadiz.
Where at?
Cadiz, Kentucky.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, was
Trigg
it Trigg County? Yeah.
I've been down to, when I worked with Fish and Wildlife for a couple of years there, I was down at Kentucky and Barkley. Down there, some great fishing. We'd go to our staff meeting, and the techs didn't have to go to many meetings, so we'd stay on the lake fishing for about 4 or 5 days.
It's pretty out there. That's funny. He's like he married a girl from Sagersville and then moved out here. So he grew up around no mountains. Then all of a sudden, like driving on roads where you might land on somebody's house if you didn't make a wrong turn.
That's a huge change.
It's a big culture shock a bit. No, man, it's. Yeah, Kentucky is interesting too. You think about it that way, from the west to the bluegrass to the Appalachian to the tip of Pikeville. It's but everybody here is has their own story, their own perspective, their own take, their own experiences, and that's why I think Kentucky is such like an epicenter for good music, for good songwriting.
It's huge, yeah.
Because there's just so many people here, so many cultures, thoughts, and it's beautiful to see. Obviously bluegrass is embedded deep all throughout Appalachia, and that goes all the way back to the Celtic influx, the Irish settling here and kind of coming off of that and building its own culture. But the roots go deep, man, and just being able to explore that and dig a little deeper, see how everybody's kind of connected, see those tributaries and how they touch
Estill County, Powell County, Bath County.
It's amazing, isn't it? It's amazing.
A lot of talent.
Yeah, it's incredible what is coming. I mean, even the country music highway aside, just what's coming out in these like pockets. And like you said, Powell, Estill specifically, man, we got so much talent. It's insane. But let's see, we're about 33 minutes. Let's go ahead and pick another one. We'll talk about it. Like I said,
It Must Be the Devil if you want to do that.
Heck yeah, let's do it.
Do you want to talk about it or just play it? Talk about it later or talk about it now?
I said we can say a little bit. So yes, let's lead into it a little bit then. So I guess tell me a little bit about what kind of inspired this song and what got pen to paper, as far as the creatively breaking all this down. Obviously it come from a personal experience and that really impacted you. So it's from A to Z, what happened in between?
Just from writing the song, I just kind of, with the little riff, the little picking parts, what actually made me want to write the song, and it just had that feel to it, like it was almost an evil feel, evil blues rock. But and then just throw some stuff in there that people can relate to that happens sometimes.
Yeah,
just part of life, I guess. And it really turned out really good in the studio. So I'm excited that if you haven't heard it out there, stream it. Anybody
awesome.
because it's
look it up for sure,
or download it. That. Even though if you stream it 1,000 times, we won't make anything.
Download. Yeah. We'll definitely like thoroughly give your plugs here in a little bit too.
Why I'm so excited to get some vinyl in our hands and get the CDs, because we got so many people wanting them and we don't have them yet.
I'm excited to get the vinyl too. You're going to have to holler at me whenever.
For sure. But anyway, this Must Be the Devil.
All right.
Must be the devil, the way you you took my soul. Well, I'm still alive, barely hanging on. There's no doubt I'm headed down a long, hot road. You have to be the devil, 'cause I've lost all control. And there's a good chance one day we might just meet up in hell. Can you even imagine all of the stories we'll tell? We're on the same level. You must be the devil. We're on the same level. You must be the devil. I was so foolish, but everything felt just right. So you walked away like a thief in the night. And most of my world just left here with you. You have to be the devil. Lord, if I only knew. 'Cause there's a good chance one day we might just meet up in hell. Can you even imagine all of the stories we'll tell? We're on the same level. You must be the devil. On the same level. You must be the devil. You must be the devil. The way you took my soul.
It's great, man. Really good stuff. And I love the way you walk it down like that, man. I love that lick and love how you just kind of how it all just kind of plucks out. And it's just it's got such that bluesy feel and just kind of hits me in a certain
That
way.
harmonica, when he came in and played that, we were like,
oh yeah. I also definitely check out the studio version. You know,
'cause it wasn't intended to have one, and I was just sitting there thinking it's missing something. And I said, "Hey Zach, how about harmonica?" He said, "That's perfect."
yeah. Hey man, you can't go wrong with a harmonica. You throw that in there, and it really kind of
Especially somebody can play one. you know.
It just adds whipped cream to the dessert you've already made. You know, that cake. No, it's awesome. It's like Bruce Springsteen. I always kind of go back to him. You know, he's always recognized largely, you know, for his radio licks and stuff like that. But I think I actually spoke about this with Bolander, I believe, because Springsteen is a big influence on him.
Huge writer, man.
As a songwriter, Springsteen was, I think he's definitely close to the pinnacle.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
Nebraska, that album that he just like cut by himself in the basement, I mean, it was like a very raw, very rough album that he put out. And it was just like he was going through, if I remember correctly, I don't want to kind of tell the story wrong, but going through kind of a dark spot, and you can feel it in the music too. You can feel just that raw, and like the song Nebraska itself, you know, when if tracking the killing spree going from up into Wyoming, man, it's, but those stories as a storyteller, Springsteen really had an impact on me, but it just kind of puts me in mind. It's kind of similar. It kind of has that real bluesy feel, that real raw feel. Then you add in that harmonica, and obviously it just kind of, it definitely makes it blow up.
He's written so many good songs, Springsteen. That's great.
Springsteen doesn't get enough credit, man. Like, well, I guess that's not true.
That's a great one. Atlantic City.
I love Atlantic City. I shouldn't say he doesn't get enough credit. He's recognized as one of the greatest, of all time.
The river,
the river,
so good.
Yeah,
him telling the story in front of it's like so good.
I catch myself singing the river all the time to my kids, just randomly, and but yeah, Springsteen, man, like people need to go beyond. I guess that's what the point I'm trying to get at. You need to go beyond what's played on the radio and kind of dig a little bit deeper into his catalog, because you'll find some absolute gems in there that most people haven't heard.
Yeah,
so
you're right,
but it's cool.
And I need to dig deeper as well. I've heard a lot of his stuff, but there's plenty more I haven't.
Oh yeah, but that's awesome, man. So I guess that song kind of captures that experience really everybody has, just kind of, you got that one girl, that one person, or that one experience, and
maybe somebody let you down.
Yeah,
in a bad way.
Yep. That's what I like about it, man. That's what I like about these storytelling songs is, it always picks up on something. It always kind of sparks that memory, kind of brings something out, that we've all been through. We've all seen and done, and experienced, but yeah, man. So, why don't you take me a little bit through like the current circuit you're running as far as the venues been playing? Because I know you've been touring pretty aggressively. You've been playing a lot in Ohio. I know you've mentioned here.
Yeah, we're trying to expand that fan base, really.
The Ohio market is impressive. Just the scene that's going on up there, the songwriters that are kind of developing from there and coming out of it. Like Arlo McKinley is a big example.
Oh yeah.
Another songwriting, influence, hero of mine. Just the way he can kind of produce the kind of sound, produce the kind of lyrics that, like I said, go back to that visceral, raw emotion.
Very raw.
Very, very raw. I mean, he's got merchandise that says like Arlo made me cry. I was like, oh yeah, I think Arlo's probably the only man that's ever probably made me cry like that. But Ohio, it's crazy how much of an Americana scene is really developing out of there. So where all have you played, I guess, in the Ohio market?
Let's see. We play Fairfield Pub regularly. We play that about once a month. It's up in Fairfield, Ohio. We play a place called the Barrel in Springboro, which is up closer to Dayton. And then on the other side of Maysville, Ripley, New Richmond, Mount Orb, a place there called Sons of Toil Brewing.
Yeah.
And then Cincinnati area, Big Ash Brewing.
Yeah.
I know I'm forgetting some. There's more than we play up there than that, but
yeah, there's so many good venues like up there.
Trying to expand that radius because if you can get so many mile radius, we're trying to increase the fan base. That's the key, and it's hard to do, really.
Yeah, well, every time you hit a new place, you get some new eyes, some new ears, and you kind of get if you pick up one or two people each place, they're going to start talking about you. They're going to start
pushing 3,000 followers, but and I take pride in the fact that everybody on there that's a follower of mine, I've met them, probably shook their hand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Versus,
by experience, by similar experience, like me just being in the state, in the crowd as a spectator, a fan out there, I think I picked your brain a little bit then, so you are very, you have a rapport with your fan base, and I really
try to go out. When I take a break, I try to really not take a break. I'm trying to go out and talk to people and thank them for being there. And I just think it's pretty important in anything you do to have professionalism.
Yes,
and it's it fades sometimes.
Yeah, and absolutely. I mean, and in that same vein, we are beyond appreciative of all the support we've gotten. I mean, just the amount of, I guess, exposure we've had with 7 episodes, the amount of support and kind of winning ourselves we've got, from the public, from feedback and stuff like that. It's humbling and such an honor. But same thing, I'm always trying to just kind of really double down on the quality and really put myself out there and just let people know, we do appreciate you, because without the public kind of getting behind us, it's important.
For sure. Indiana, we play at the Possum Saloon and then Friendship Tavern up in Friendship, Indiana. Those are cool. There's a guy up there named Nate Jenkins, a good friend of mine. He plays a lot of shows, and he's got a lot of good stuff going on. If you haven't heard of him, he's another great guitar player.
Oh, yeah. And, I think I have heard of him. I need to check him out and kind of dig a little bit deeper. Have you been up to the Pennsylvania market yet? Because I know it's kind of growing and kind of expanding.
We've been very close. There's people that from Pennsylvania that come to the place we played the other night in Jewett, Ohio. It's called Brightside Tavern. They're all Steelers fans, and they really loved my music up there, and we have a big time there.
That's cool. Because I know my buddy Josh Nolan, he plays with Wayne Graham. I know Pennsylvania's kind of been a really good market for them. I think they actually opened for Tyler Childers there. So obviously Tyler's kind of a worldwide name now, but it's just, this influence is spreading and growing, man. And just, I think it's come up on every podcast, every episode so far, but it just blows my mind endlessly just how much of it's expanding into Europe and like picking up in Britain and the Netherlands. And it's crazy how people are really starting to pay attention to this type of music.
Well, they love Kentucky music too. Yeah. They love Kentucky songwriters because Kentucky's full of great songwriters right now. And I'm not saying I'm one. I'm just saying there's like a renaissance going on here in music in Kentucky.
Say that all the time, man. Pardon me, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I feel it because I see how many people want to be a part of the songwriters events we're doing, and they're putting out good stuff. So
absolutely, and I'm here for it. I'm excited to be here. In this golden era, and I'm
doing majority solo shows. It's just because it's so much easier, and it's easier on the venues as well if that's what they want. Yeah. It's just hard to get. If you're going to bring in good musicians, you have to pay them really well.
Yeah,
and sometimes you just can't afford to bite the bullet and pay the band and not take a dime. No, because you got to make sure the band gets their money. Well,
I understand. But those solo legs are important too because it allows you to kind of up the aggression a little bit. Kind of put yourself out there a lot more and get that kind of mass exposure in that way. And plus, at the same time, these acoustic pop up sets are amazing. Also, I haven't seen you with your band yet, but I've seen you play these solo shows and
if you do a good job acoustic, then more than likely you're gonna do a pretty good job.
Yeah,
full band, so you can sell a full band show that way better. Yeah.
I'm excited. Well, I am excited to kind of see you play with your band because I haven't had a chance to see you live yet with them.
We have to kind of, if I'm using that album band, it has to kind of work around the schedule because they're all playing in multiple bands and then I've got some good artists around here. It's hard to have a band because so many good musicians around here play in several bands.
Yeah.
And it's hard to stay on a schedule with them, unless you just have one that's dedicated to you.
That's a very common thing around here. I have several friends that kind of do that. They float in between all these different people. Like Josh Nolan, I was telling you about just a second ago. Currently, he's with Wayne Graham. He was pretty heavily torn with the local honeys. I think since then he's still kind of on the roster, but really he's just kind of following.
Don plays with him, Don Rogers, doesn't he?
Yeah. But you see that a lot in this scene, and that's actually a really endearing part of it to me. But it seems like in that way everybody's kind of connected, and in that way everybody's kind of supportive of each other, and they open themselves up to really being a resource to aid in this growth and this development and this progress.
I think it's really cool, but when you're trying to schedule, it's hard.
Oh yeah, I get that. I guess once you have I guess have you developed like a roster of people? I guess if you're your first string, second string, third string?
I have a couple drummers, a couple guitar players, a couple bass players. That's that's about it. Steel player.
Yep.
When I can get in, they're hard to. It's hard to track them down. If you're really OCD about stuff, it's hard to go in and throw a show together because to me it doesn't have the same feeling if we're reading charts.
Yeah, and I guess that's
just my opinion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's something I didn't consider. That would be a setback. I guess you got your plug and play or your shuffled kind of a setup and a lineup. I guess you'd say you don't have that consistency or that that practice or that practice season.
I'm not dogging anybody for reading charts because I think if you need them, use them. But it just seems like it takes away from that emotion in that music when you it's just like I can't sing a song and read lyrics. I just can't do it because I'm not singing it then I'm reading it, and it's just I can't put the same emotion or feeling into it.
Well, exactly. It does kind of at that point present as a little more robotic. It just and naturally would be because you're kind of going through like a formulaic approach to it instead of it really kind of coming from inside. So but yeah, I am pretty excited to kind of see you play with a full band though, because like I said, I haven't got a chance to yet. I know you've talked about your harmonica player and your drummer, and kind of spoke highly of them, and it'd be fun to see. I'm excited.
We're headlining a show up in a festival up in Olive Hill, the Orange Army, and that's in July. I'm thinking the 26th, I think, something around there. 26, that's what it is. Yeah, okay. I'm playing solo over here at the Bash on the Branch, that out on what is it, Red Clay Road? Does that sound right?
I think that sounds right.
Jeff Farthing puts that on. Yeah. So, I hated. We already had a the festival that's going on in Irving that Brett's dealing with, River to Grow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was going to be in that, and I was already set up for another festival, so we already booked it. So I hated not being in that one.
Suffering from success is kind of I think the terminology.
Yeah, and it's better to go ahead and book those shows when you get them versus having to struggle at the last minute.
So you can plan and arrange for it, yeah, for sure. But man, you're getting on some really notable bills, man. I'm excited to see it, and I'm excited to attend some of these too because I'm really going to make an effort to get out to a lot more of these festival shows. That's something I've been really prioritizing, to really for the media, the multimedia space to get there and cover a lot of these venues. And
oh yeah, and there's plenty to cover, isn't there?
Oh, absolutely. It is. We are rich. It goes deep here in Eastern Kentucky and beyond. But see, we're coming upon an hour. So why don't you pick out your last song that you'd like to play, and we'll kind of talk about it. Then we'll do your plugs.
I think we'll do one that's not on the album. We're going to put this on the next album.
Okay, let's do that.
It's called Somewhere Between Jesus and the Bottle. It's a little different type song, and this hook or idea came from, I told you I host a writer's night up at Riverbend Pub and Grill.
Yeah.
And Tim Poe and Susie Poe are the owners of that, and they do a great job. They have a lot of touring acts come through there, and then they have a lot of locals too, so they're really sport singer-songwriters.
Yeah.
And we host that round, and Tim was trying to explain to me somebody's music, a guy that was coming there to play, what his music was like, and he said it was somewhere between Jesus and drinking, and I thought, that's a song. Somewhere in there, there's a song. So I started fooling with it, and then I ran the title and the hook of the song by Chris when we were in Montana, and he said, yeah, I like it, but I think Somewhere Between Jesus and the Bottle would be better. He said, I don't know how we'd rhyme bottle or how you'd rhyme bottle, but and I said, well, I'll figure that out.
Yeah, we'll work it out.
So I actually ran this song by, I sent it to him, and got his approval, and he liked it. So
that's cool.
We'll see how it goes. Lived over half my life, guess I'm closer to dead than alive. Never had any trouble before, leaving things I've lost behind. Since you've been gone, I just can't get you out of my mind. No matter how hard I try, I can never go back in time. You left me somewhere between Jesus and the bottle. Lord knows I'm losing control. Gotta ease up on the throttle. Can't keep this thing in the middle of the road. 'Cause only heaven knows which way I'm gonna go. Outside, everyone thinks I'm doing okay. They don't know these demons I fight this war against every day. And liquor's become my best friend, that's a cold hard truth. It's always there for me to hold, wish I could say the same about you. You left me somewhere between Jesus and the bottle. Lord knows I'm losing control. I've got to ease up on the throttle. Can't keep this thing in the middle of the road. And only heaven knows which way I'm gonna go. Just because I'm not in church doesn't mean I don't believe. I need some help, Lord, I'm down on bended knees. I'm somewhere between Jesus and the bottle. Lord knows I'm losing control. I've got to ease up on the throttle. I can't keep this thing in the middle of the road. Only heaven knows which way I'm gonna go. Only heaven knows which way I'm gonna go.
good one, man. It's another emotional song. You know, you can really feel that one. You know, whether it's alcohol or any other kind of vice or struggle, you know, we're all kind of in that point at one point or another. And
a lot in there. That's all.
Absolutely. Yeah. You know, we're all kind of struggling with that spiritual connection and just trying to get back to that place, you know.
Music can help it, and then it can hurt you. They're helping, though.
Well, I've spoke about this before, not to beat a dead horse, but it's like, you know, when I went through my divorce, you know, to get a little personal, it was like a very dark time, you know, in my life and stuff. But there was like certain bands and certain music I would listen to during that time to kind of get me through that. And really it was because like I was getting to see my daughter less, and it was really struggle for me in that kind of way. And music really did kind of guide me through the process. It kind of broke me down, built me back up. And it's to experience music and the joy and the pain and the rehabilitation. It can really serve any kind of purpose like that. And, but it's certainly therapeutic.
Writing's therapeutic for me. You know, for sure writing is. And that song, I've had multiple times when somebody's sitting right in front, I can just, you see tears streaming, and they come to you after the song and talk about how much it moved them. And, you know, and that's a goal, but you still feel about it in a way. You're tearing them down, but you know.
But no, it's important though. It's it's like I don't know if you heard the band Manchester Orchestra. That was the band that I'd really got their hooks in me during that period. And it's like it's funny because like they had gotten me through this emotional process and got me through this process of rebuilding and reconstructing myself, and you know, rising back to the surface after going through some, you know, pretty rough struggles during that time. But it's like now, like I can't go back and listen to that music the same way because it served its purpose and it kind of served it in that kind of way that built me back up. Yeah. So it's neat. I'll still always love them and respect that music. But it's like, I can't really revisit it in that same light anymore.
It makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
But it does, man. Music can serve so many purposes, and it's just kind of cool to see, you know, somebody like you with a catalog that stretches so far, it can capture every aspect of music in that way. And
I don't know. I don't really know what to call my music. It's kind of it's different. I have some more traditional country stuff, and I have some, I don't know.
It's just called Americana. It's Americana.
That's what it
That's why, because I struggle with finding a way to label it too, but that's kind of where I'll fall back on always. I guess just folk or Americana, but it's Appalachian music, man. It's it really has a spice of its own, and it captures so many styles, that bluesy style, that traditional country style. You'll see some bluegrass creep in with a lot of people, and it's just
I was in a bluegrass band for a while too. Yeah,
several years ago. Tell me a bit about that before you got here.
What's that?
So let's talk about that for a second. Who'd you play with?
I played with a bass player out of Mount Sterling named Jeff Pendleton, and then a banjo player / dobro player on the slower songs, Howard Owens out of Lewis County, and then a guitar player, mandolin player out of Mount Sterling, Johnny Myers.
That's awesome.
And we played Poppy Mountain up there on a Thursday night, and then we opened for Little River Band down at Likens Park.
Yeah.
Not Lonesome River Band. That's a big difference, isn't it?
Lonesome River. That's cool. That's cool.
A big difference. But yeah, we had some great times. Those guys are great musicians, and wrote a lot. I wrote some bluegrass stuff we were doing, and some of it's sad because I don't even have lost all the lyrics to it. Don't even remember it. There's a VHS tape floating around somewhere that has a couple of those songs I'd like to find.
Wow, you got to digitize that. I'd love to hear it.
Because there's a couple really good songs that we didn't do anything with. I wish I kept wanting to get in the studio and try to record some of that stuff. I
mean, I love all kinds of music, especially the music in this kind of scene. I guess you'd say, like I said, the Americana folk, Appalachian mountain music. Bluegrass, man, though, I got such a love affair with that, and just, you know, growing up and, you know, with Metagreen in my backyard, and, you know, Ricky Wass and those guys, what they're building out there, and just the whole deep impact of bluegrass, just not only in Powell County but throughout the region. But it's like, that's why I always give so much credit to bluegrass for kind of building people up and influencing these artists, even when they don't realize they're being influenced by bluegrass.
That's true. Yeah,
because it runs so deep, and like I said, it spans so long, and it's touched everybody in some way. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and bluegrass is still got the traditional bluegrass, but a lot of it's went into.
Let's get the new grass and
contemporary.
Yeah, we got guys like Billy Strings coming into the scene now. You know, I guess keeping that picking style and stuff, but kind of bringing that new flavor.
Top started his bluegrass, so.
Uh-oh,
got him. Didn't break it. That. I'm glad you caught it.
I'm keeping this in. I'm not editing this up. This is just part of the production process, folks. We're actually kind of Well, I was actually going to acknowledge the fact that my camera died, so we had to swap out there. So if Reed looks a little different in this next frame, that's why. But yeah, so we were talking about bluegrass there, but just kind of keep this ball rolling. I guess before we go, I want to circle back to Chris because I do have a couple questions about Chris. One, namely, whatever happened to Wilson's cousin? Did he ever get his comeuppance? I mean,
No idea on that one.
Really? Oh, you got to ask him for me. I've been waiting for a sequel to Down the River for years now. Yeah. So
that's a great song. And
man, it's definitely a classic. I do.
He did a sequel to William's son. Have you heard it?
Oh, actually, he did, didn't he? Yeah. You're right. So I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I forgot about that.
John Prine was a huge influence of his. I don't know if you knew that or not.
John Prine is the godfather of this entire.
He heard John when he came. Chris was going to school at Western, and John came down there and played, and that's when he really got into songwriting. And then went full circle and had John on his album.
Yeah.
Singing Little Victories, and then the next album he played he covered one of John's songs, and John sang on it, Mexican Home.
I'm telling you, man, it's John Prine. John Prine is probably the one person I credit more than anybody for just having such an impact on the entire scene. And he was our Bob Dylan.
You can play a John Prine song, people know it.
Oh yeah, John Prine is he was the man, and I will always consider him the Godfather. Rest in peace.
Very cool fellow.
Absolutely, and I do regret never having a chance to see him live. I had an opportunity to take my granny one time. He coming through Louisville, and unfortunately, it just didn't pan out. And then COVID happened, and
so I once, great friend of mine, Shannon, called, had an extra ticket. He said, "Hey man, what are you doing?" And I said, "Nothing." He said, "I got a free ticket for you." And I said, "No, what you got?" And I said, "He said we're going to the Brown Theater in Louisville. John Prine's playing. I got an extra ticket." So.
Wow,
it was great.
That's a good thing, man. I had the same situation with Tom Petty. I had an opportunity to see him, passed up on it, and then he just had an untimely death too. And I was like, man, I got to start just biting the bullet and just kind of making arrangements to see people.
Yeah. And that's one of I try to go see shows of friends and people I want to see, and we don't get to do a lot of it.
Yeah.
We're playing so much, which is not a bad thing, but it's kind of a double-edged sword in a way because
it is. It's like life happens, man. Like I said, I invest so much, because I have to work my day job to kind of pay the mortgage, and then the rest of my time I'm spending trying to build up this space and kind of get this grown. And it's a grind for sure.
So Chris, a couple of weeks ago at the Down Home in Johnson City, he was playing, so we went down there and saw him. He had a matinee show with just Austin Cunningham. They played a full band show the night before. Yeah. We had a show, but we got to go down and see the.
That's cool. Do you have any plans to play with him anytime coming up?
We've talked about some stuff, so hoping so. Yeah,
we've been playing him a little bit more in that around the house. One of my twins, the smaller, meaner one, has really taken up with the song North Dakota. I don't know what it was, but that's the only song that can make her stop crying.
That's a heavy requested song.
I bet. Yeah. It's ironic to me that the only song that can make her stop crying is North Dakota, which is one of the most preeminent sad ballads that you can muster up. But
he's got some dark stuff.
That's what I love though, man. Like, and that's it. Going back to bluegrass, and talk about the murder ballads and the death and the violence and the backstabbing. It's bluegrass captures every bit of that. And
I think that's why in his shows when he says something humorous, it's really funny because it's like it goes from that
dark space, just kind of that full pendulum. But yeah, let's go ahead and give your plugs, man. I think we've actually breached an hour here, and where can people find you, find your music, and where can they look for you as far as upcoming tour dates and information on that?
Reed Fields Music is my Facebook page. I do a lot of stuff there, and R Fields Music is Instagram. That's basically what I'm doing right now. I do have a bands in town. Don't have a website at this time. We're probably going to do one after we get the vinyl and get all those stuff and start selling our merch on there as well.
Be a good platform to market it, yeah.
And shows, I think our next actual show is in Winchester, DJ Steakhouse on Saturday night.
Actually, I think I was going to actually be at that one.
So great. Yeah, it's a 6 to 9 show. So yeah,
that's awesome, man. It's
a good venue to play. They got good food.
It's cool space. Yeah, absolutely.
They treat us good there.
Yeah, shouts out DJ Steakhouse.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm trying to think. Let me look real quick. I've got that little band app that's pretty handy. Have you seen that app?
No.
It's for anything, but just it lets you keep stuff in
While
order.
you're looking at that, this will be publishing probably a couple weeks after the fact, but check him out on the Morning Buzz. He was on that this morning. Little session he did with Brett Nolan. That was a cool little show, man. I watched that at work today.
Appreciate that.
Now, shout out, holler, that they're our neighbors over here at
I tried to throw you a shout out on there. I don't know if you heard me or not. About today, what we were going to do. So
It actually cut out around 44 minutes. I have to go back and look it up again.
it was on there. Let's see.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Got an open mic Thursday, tomorrow night, open mic at Waterfront. We got some good writers coming down there. And then DJs. And then next week we'll be in Cynthiana for a writer's night, Maiden City. Then at Riverbend in Vanceburg, that's a cool little venue.
Oh, yeah. It really is.
See me 2 times in Lexington. I've got a show there on
that's awesome.
the 13th on a Thursday. And then up around Cave Run Lake, Elroy's, it's hooked to the Elliott's Pizzeria.
Yeah.
Right there. So we're playing there on Saturday. And that's a little ways out. Yeah, I post everything on my Facebook page. I do a monthly calendar. And then I also do events about 2 days prior.
Okay, cool. We'll direct everybody to that space as well whenever we get these videos uploaded. But yeah, man, it really is an absolute honor to have you here today, and I appreciate you making the drive out because you've went out of your way to come out to be on our rinky-dink little podcast, and
That's what we do.
Let me pick your brain a little bit, and have production issues, knock my guitar over, have brain farts here and there, but that's just, hey, we're learning, we're growing.
I appreciate what you're doing, both of you guys, and I really thank you for having me be a part of it.
No, I appreciate you coming out. It really is an honor, and I mean that absolutely wholeheartedly. But yeah, check out Refills, check out his music, go to all the platforms where you can, download it, stream it, and then kind of look for his CDs and vinyls coming out. I'm excited for the vinyl, man. You got to holler at me when that comes in.
Give me a follow on Facebook. It helps. We're trying to get there. Come out
It
there,
certainly
show,
does. Social
buy
media.
some merch.
Yeah, support these artists, man. It is important. But yeah, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks.